We'll start with the presentation of the admission and the application process, and then we'll move on to your questions. So you can see on your screen a Q&A button. So please use that button to ask all your questions, and we'll answer them at the end. So first of all, my name is Anne, and I work for École Polytechnique within the marketing and promotion team. And with me, we have Maxine and then two students. Maxine, do you want to start with presenting and introducing yourself?
My name is Maxine Lessens. I am an executive assistant in the Bachelor program. I work closely with the admissions team and also with the first year officer in welcoming new candidates and making sure that and helping you all to have successful applications. And so, you know, I know the program quite well now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Maxine. Arthur and Minju, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure, I can start. So my name is Arthur. I'm second year student in the Bachelor program in mathematics and computer science double major. And yeah, I hope to answer as many of your questions as I can.
Thank you. Minju, we can't hear you. You're on mute. Yes.
Hi, I'm Minju Kim. I'm a DX23 student. So I'm first year student, and I am currently divided between double major in math CS and math economics.
Thank you very much. So let's move on to the presentation. So first of all, that's just a quick slide about École Polytechnique. For those who may not know the university well so far. So we are the leading university in science and technology in France. The university was created in 1794, and we are based in Palaiseau, which is a small town south of Paris. We have in total approximately 3,600 students coming from different countries, and 40% of them are international students. We also have different programs ranging from the undergrad, so the Bachelor of Science we're talking about today. We also have the Ingénieur Polytechnicien program, which is the engineering program, and then some masters as well. And 23 labs on campus as well, working on different research fields. Now, so just again, a quick presentation about the Bachelor program before moving on to the application process. So the Bachelor program is a 3-year program entirely taught in English. The first year is a scientific common core for all students. So our students join us from different high schools, and then they can take the different courses we offer, and then they choose a double major. They have the choice between math and computer science, math and physics, or math and economics. And they take those, so they have a selection of courses during year 2 and year 3 of the program. 3 key things about the program. It is a selective program, so we want very good students to join us. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. It is also an international program. Again, 100% taught in English. And it is also research oriented with the research internship, the bachelor thesis during the 3rd year. So now let's move on to the application and how it works. So I'll start with the criteria, so the different requirements for students to join us. So first of all, students can apply for the Bachelor program when they are currently enrolled in the last year of high school or have recently graduated. So both options are fine. And we are looking for specific admission requirements on top. So the first one is that students must have a very strong academic average, so be very good and have very good grades, and specifically in math and science. So we require students, depending on your high school curriculum, and we detail that a little bit later, that we have to take advanced mathematics courses and at least one advanced science course. And the last key requirement is your level of English. We require a good level of English because obviously, the program is completely taught in English, and the courses are going to be challenging enough So you need to be able to have a good level of English to follow those courses. Maxine, I think that's one for you.
So I'm going to talk specifically about the high school curriculum requirements that you need to have. So obviously it depends on which system you're coming from. If you're doing an international baccalaureate, we will accept both the analysis and approaches high level and the applications high level. We have a slight preference for analysis and approaches. If you haven't already started, then we would recommend this one more so, but both are accepted. If you're in an American high school, then we are looking for honors or AP classes in maths and sciences, preferably. In the French baccalaureate, obviously with the new reform baccalaureate, you can take advanced mathematics and we would prefer another scientific subject as two of the three options that you would have in première. And you would obviously be encouraged to pursue these scientific subjects and maths in terminale. And we would highly recommend that you take expert mathematics as well as your option. For those doing A-levels, obviously mathematics again and another science would be required. And we would, again, strongly encourage you to do advanced level mathematics. And for all other curricula in other systems, obviously if you can inspire yourselves in terms of your choices from the above for the things that we just told you. So obviously mainly math is absolutely essential, and preferably another scientific subject with that. Okay, and I will add obviously that you need to be a good all-rounder as well, and your English we will not, we must stress is very important.
Arthur and Minju, what high school curriculum did you do?
Me personally, I did European Baccalaureate with all options in science. So I took physics, chemistry, and biology, and math and advanced math.
Perfect. Arthur, what about you?
And I was in the French baccalaureate, but it was the old system. I know it's changed now, so it might be a bit different, but I was doing math with specialty in physics, so I wasn't doing advanced math.
Thank you.
So regarding the application form, this is an online application form. We've always functioned this way with the online application. Obviously, it's very important to firstly, I would say, go onto the website and look in the admissions criteria and procedure part of the website to find out exactly what you need for apply, what documents you need to apply. There is a part called the application file, and in that part you can download the list of required documents. We'll give you the application checklist, which is very, very useful. So we're asking for you to provide scanned copies of all your transcripts for your last 3 or 4 academic years. Basically, you will need, obviously most of you will be in your final year at high school, and you will need to provide the 3 previous years of transcripts. And depending on when you apply to the program, at what admission round, you will be able to provide perhaps the first and second transcript of the year of your final year in high school. Okay. You will also need to provide contact details of 2 referees, one of which must preferably be a science or maths teacher in your current high school. Or obviously, I didn't say that if you're in university, obviously it would be a university referee in that case. I would stress that this is very, very important when you start your application to fill in these referees very quickly, because it takes them a while then to fill in the online recommendation form and provide a reference for you. So you must let them know quickly that you need them to be referees for you. The other thing I would stress is that referees cannot be family members. Okay, this is it makes sense, but you know we stress it anyway because we still have some candidates who do ask family members to be referees. So then you have the personal statements. So both the personal statements and the CVs are to be provided via templates that you download from the online application form, fill in, and then upload. For the personal statements, it's going to be kind of your motivation letter, but we do it in a slightly different way. We ask you to answer 3 questions. These questions change every year. And so this year's questions are the ones you can see on the screen. And these are very important. It's not something you can do quickly. I think Arthur and Minju will agree that you have to take time to think about how you want to answer these questions. What do you say? Minju? Do you remember doing this?
For me, I mean, I agree. I think it's probably the most important part of like the first part, if you don't count the interview. I would say that this is where you really can show yourself off and sell yourself to to the school who's recruiting you. So I think the personal statement is really important and very key in the application process, and should be where you spend quite a lot of your time.
Thanks, Arthur. Yes. And for the CV, this is important. Again, the same procedure. You download the template and you fill it in, and try to fill in as much as you can with the activities you have. And it's very important also at the end, you have a section where you have to fill in the notions in math that you have covered in class so far. This is very important because depending on what you answer there, it will help or if you get shortlisted for your interview, it will help your interviewer to plan the questions that he or she is going to ask you. So you must be very truthful, and be very honest about this. Okay. And finally, obviously, there is an application fee, like all application procedures. It's 95 euros. Okay. So the interview itself, if you are lucky enough to be shortlisted, it's a 50-minute interview, which is entirely in English. There will be 2 parts to your interview, not necessarily in this order, but there will be 20 minutes dedicated to your general scientific culture and your motivation, which is a very important part of the interview. And then there will be 30 minutes with mathematics questions, again, based on what you have studied so far in your secondary education in your final year in high school. And this is the information that you will be giving on your CV. As I just stressed, it's very important. The decision for admissions are based obviously on the interview, but also on the quality of your file. Everything you have done is important. So do not neglect any part of your application. And you will be able to find information and advice about the interview on the website. There are examples of questions, as you can see on this slide. There are other examples too. So there will be, you can also maybe get advice from other students, or, look around and ask questions. But it's very important. But it's, as Arthur and Minju know, it's possible to succeed, and so if you prepare it, you'll be fine. So I don't know if any of you want to talk about this or not, your interview. Minju, maybe
I can share my experience.
Yeah.
So I was, like many of you, was stressed because it was, I really wanted to go to this school, but the interviewer really helped me and guided me through the questions. So I think just relax and the interviewer is here because they want to pick you and not make you stressed or fail you. And really, I don't think if you are admitted for the interview, it means that that your level is good enough and that ECHO really wants you. So I think you just gotta be yourself.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yes.
For
Arthur?
me, one advice I would give is that sometimes we tend to underestimate that it's difficult to do maths, both in both parts of the interview. Doing math is, I mean, most people, like everyone who's taken at the interview is very good at math, but it's quite different to do it orally and present it. So I think practicing it is very important, and because it's a skill that is not necessarily very easy. And same on the motivation and general scientific culture part. I think doing mock interviews, can be with your parents or with other people, can be very important because talking about yourself or talking about maths is not necessarily something that is easy and well, it's not a natural skill. It's something you have to acquire and practice.
Hmm. That's very good advice, Arthur. Thank you very much. And Minju too. So
We have, so now about the admission calendar, we have each year 3 rounds of application. Obviously, for those who are currently finalizing their file, we are, at the end, almost at the end of our final round of applications for September, so 2021. So you can see the deadline here is on the 21st at 4 p.m. Paris time. So don't miss the deadline. Don't be last minute, please. And also, so for this year, it's now closed, but students also have the possibility of applying via Parcoursup, usually for French students, but it's also possible. But just remember that it's only one application per student and per academic year. So you have to choose either directly on our application portal or via Parcoursup. And for next year, so for an entry in September 2022, we'll have again 3 rounds of application during the year, but we'll communicate the fixed deadlines a little bit later in the year.
So what makes you a great applicant? This is a big question. Obviously, we're looking at your academic level, particularly in scientific courses. Yes, we're going to look for your marks in math and physics and all the other scientific subjects, but also all round, we want to have students with a good level and good all-rounders. And your level in English is very important, not only for us, but also for you. If you're struggling, as Anne said earlier, with studying math and sciences in English, and you're not, managing very well, it's going to make it much harder to do it in a language. I don't know what Arthur and Minju thought about this, but did you find that it was easy to adapt or not in terms of the English?
Well, for me, it was okay. I mean,
Mm.
although I came from a French system, I used to live in Singapore, so my English was quite good.
Yes.
But yeah, I think a good level in English is important. I mean, all the courses are in English. Interactions with other students and with teachers, everything is done in English. So yeah, I think a very good level in English is quite important requirement.
Thank you.
Similarly for me, I learned all my science and math in English, so it really helped. And maybe if you're a French student, I think École Polytechnique gives you a sheet where they translated some words,
Yes,
terminologies, and I think revising that might help.
Yes, this is available on the website. You have some sheets of translating French and English math terms, so it would help. Definitely. So obviously we're looking for your motivation as well. We want really to, that to shine through when we are looking for real motivation to join the program. A strong interest for science and research-based projects, because it is a scientific course, and we think that our students will go on to continue their studies in scientific fields and perhaps in research. And so it's you have to be passionate about your preferred scientific subject, obviously. And you will be doing maths for 3 years, so you also have to be really passionate about maths. So. And besides this, it's very important, the positive but also humble attitude. Why do we say humble? Because you're going to be with many people from all over the world, from different cultures, and you're going to it's going to be a very enriching experience. But you must remember that we all come from different backgrounds, from different cultures, and so remain humble in this respect. Be keen to learn, and obviously it's an international environment. You'll make new friends, contacts that you will probably keep for the rest of your lives. So we're looking for that kind of profile, people who are very open-minded. Okay. So tips for a great application. Obviously, Arthur told us about this earlier. The personal statement is very important. Read the questions carefully. Make sure you've understood the question before you start answering it. Make it personal. Again, Arthur said this. We want to see your personality. We want to see the real you. So be sincere, be honest. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not, because we will see that. It will come through. Show your strengths, but it's important to show your strengths, of course, but we also have weaknesses. You've got to be honest and show your experiences, and ways where you think you can stand out from other applicants. Of course, I'm sure we all have so many things to demonstrate, to show, and I think for me, what is really important when we read the personal statements is the sincerity, the honesty of what you're saying, and that really comes through. As I said earlier, respect the format. We have a template. We require you to use the template. It's complicated for us when you don't, and we will ask you to redo it anyway. So it will be a waste of your time and ours. So don't hesitate when you do your personal statements to get advice. You can write to your first draft, but then say, what do you think of this? Ask your friends, your family. We're not asking them to write it for you, but we would like you to, we were just saying it's the first time many of you are doing this exercise, so it's important to get feedback. Okay. So, and of course, common mistakes to avoid. Yes. Again, I will not stress this enough. Use the templates which are provided on the online application form. You can download them quite easily, and you can fill them in, quite easily. Your CV looks much better if you've filled in as much as possible. An empty CV is not very appealing. It's a little bit disappointing. So, fill in your CV. Do not submit your application at the last minute. You need to give it plenty of time, okay? And it's so stressful for yourselves and for everybody and for your family. So, crack on with it, get it done, and get it submitted, okay? Keep in touch with your referees, and remember, it's your responsibility to ensure that they get their recommendations to us on time, and they have to submit it before the application deadline as well. They have the same deadline as yourself, so make sure, if you can see from the application form that they haven't submitted it yet, get in touch with them, say, is everything okay? Can you submit the recommendation for me, because it's important, okay? And you will find on the website plenty of advice and tips about the file, about your oral interview, as we said earlier. And do not hesitate to spend time. I know it seems like a lot of information, but there's a lot of very useful information on the website about the whole procedure. The admissions criteria procedure section is very, very complete. So please feel free to consult it.
Thank you very much. So that was the presentation part of the application and admission process. So you can see here, just as a reminder, the website address as well as the email addresses if you have any questions. If you are stuck anywhere or have any doubts about your application file, feel free to email us. We'll help as much as we can.